If you're looking to get in under 400,000 in Celina's largest master plan community, this home here is going to be it. Now, this is the Cypress floor plan. It's a 4-bed, 2-bath for 397,000, 2.5 bath, over 2,500 square feet. Now, when we go in, I'll tell you all about the community while we check out your living and kitchen. Then we're going to your primary bedroom because it's got a super huge step-in shower. And then we're going to check out, you have an awesome loft living room space upstairs you can utilize however. Now, a little bit about this community. You're in Celina, you're in Legacy Hills, which is one of the furthest north communities in Celina. It's going to be a little bit further of a drive to Dallas than like North Sky. If you're familiar where North Sky is on Celina, I have a couple videos about that. Great neighborhood as well. But Legacy Hills, right, I had someone comment the other day, like, don't buy in Celina, you're going to be driving on dirt roads all the way to Dallas. Okay, not true. I'll address that. Now, with that said, they did have a couple valid points about property taxes, which we'll address here in a moment. But about the roads, I drove all the way here from just north of Anna. I had a closing in Van Alstyne, and they were all paved roads. Now, most of them were actually freshly paved. A couple of them, of course, are a little bit bumpier, older county roads. But when I drive into Frisco or Dallas, right, you're going to take the Dallas North Tollway. This community, which we'll go check out your backyard, and then we'll go to your primary bedroom because it's pretty awesome. But good dining space, right? You can fit 6 chairs comfortably here. It's part of the 6-mile Dallas North Tollway extension. You know, that person was also like, well, you've got to drive 30 minutes to get to everything. There's an H-E-B planning to be opened in 2028, 2 minutes away from this neighborhood. So it's super close and convenient. Now, if you commute to Dallas, I personally would not choose Celina. Just personally, you're going to be about an hour. But if you work in, we're going to head to your primary right now. If you work in, you know, say Legacy West, you're 30 to 35 minutes away. So that's really not a bad commute at all. And then if you just map to Plano itself, it's about 45 minutes. So personally, again, this is a personal preference. You may be used to that long of a drive, an hour, hour and 15. It's your primary bedroom. Like I said, super open. You even have room for a little sitting area. But I personally would not want to drive an hour and 15 hour each way to work. So that's why I say I would not recommend Celina right off the bat if you're moving to Dallas. Now, homes are way cheaper here. Like I said, this is $397,000, and I really like the green and gold in this. And then this is your, I mean, super big shower here. Step in, already have those. You have a cricket. He's trying to take a shower down there. That is one thing I will say. It's like, you know, with new construction, a lot of these were just farm fields. Now, I personally don't mind crickets. They don't gross me out. You may be different. But with it being new construction, it's depending, especially if it's a new community like Legacy Hills, which is the largest. I'll tell you more about the community and those taxes in a second. Let's go check out that upstairs. Pretty big. Oh, your bathroom and linen closet are combined. Okay, that's nice. I like that. Let's go check out this secondary living space up here is awesome. And then I'm going to tell you about your taxes and the bugs. Right? They have this open, which is really nice, but the way the living rooms are set up, sound isn't going to carry a whole lot between them. So definitely, right, there's going to be quite a few spiders you're going to have to deal with. Just get a great product I use on my home off Amazon, or you can pay someone to come out. Just make sure it's a reputable company. I can recommend someone. But if you have any questions about that or moving to North Texas, reach out to me. My team and I would love to help you make a smooth move. You help, you know, numerous families make the move from out of state here, understand pros and cons and tax rates that are important and how that affects you in the community. So I'm going to tell you about the tax rates right now. This is pretty awesome. Like as a kid, you imagine having your own little playroom up here, living room, you know, whatever your kids want to utilize it for. So one thing about Celina, a lot of the new, not all of them, are either in a PID, MUD, or MMD tax, which I have a video explaining all of those. You need to go check out. It's getting posted August 6th or August 13th. I don't remember. One of the two, one of those Thursdays. And then your laundry's upstairs. So that is one downside of this floor plan is, right, your primary's up or down and laundry's up. So something you've got to decide. They're going to have other floor plans that isn't going to be the case. So the effective tax rate was at 277, is 2.77. This section is in a PID and MMD tax. Now this is Arbor at Legacy Hills. I toured Brookshire at Legacy Hills. They're just in a PID and their tax rate is 2.49%. So with this being the largest Celina community, it's over 3,200 acres. Like I said, bigger than the Fields of Frisco at 2,500 acres. You have some sections that are in a mud, some that are in a PID, some that are in MMD, some that are in none of those three, some that are in one or multiple of the threes, and some that are in all three. So the highest tax rate I've seen here is almost 3%. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, they were talking about in that comment I mentioned, which again, like I said, the dirt road comment, completely wrong. They brought up some valid points about the property taxes that I talk about in my videos, and I make sure people understand that when you move here. But secondary bedrooms are pretty good size. You know, it's what, probably a twin, full size? No, it's a full size, probably. So it takes up a little bit of room. It's not like the biggest room. I toured Windsor Homes, and the other section I was telling you about here was the 2.49% tax rate, Brookshire. And of course, those were $500,000 to $600,000, so $100,000 more homes. Their bedrooms were a little bit bigger, but again, they cost a lot more. So that's one of the things you can pay for, and you can kind of go on my channel and watch different home tours at different price points. That isn't that Mattamy doesn't make a bigger secondary bedroom, it's just at this price point. So good comparison for you to see. Now this one's a lot bigger than that bedroom. But the dirt roads, not the case. Sure, there are a few that, you know, dirt roads you may have to drive on. But the tax rate is something to know, and it's super important that whatever lender you work with, I have some great ones, but if you're going new build, you're probably going to have to use the new construction lender. Pretty smaller closet, you could have some more space. But I had about that size as a kid, and I survived. You want to make sure that their taxes that they are assessing you on are for the value of the home. There is a home builder, I'm not going to name names because I'm not allowed to, that is currently in a lawsuit about that, of not disclosing that to the buyer. So then your escrow for your taxes will jump up because you go from getting assessed on $100,000 of land to a $300,000 home. So that's something I always make sure of whenever my clients are walking through that process. Again, I haven't had another builder do that. It's just been one builder, and okay, that's nice. See, you don't have to climb up in the attic. I'm going to shut that so you can hear me. You don't have to climb up in the attic to access your HVAC system. So the advantages of this community, I'm sure you're wondering. We went in here. So Jake, you've been rambling about a lot. I have. I think it's all good info. I have several also neighborhood overviews of this community. I have several different videos as the community's grown. And I still have a lot to tell you about the community. But where was I going? I'll remember, I'll tell you about the community and it'll come back to me. So advantage of the community, you have 7 sections. Now, one of them is a Dell Web 55 plus community. Each section does have its own amenities you have access to. Of course, if you're not in the 55 plus, you can't access that. I don't know what they have going on over there. I love bingo. I do bet they have bingo. I like bingo, and I'm not 55. So not a shot if you're watching this over 55. I will play bingo with you. But we'll go check out your garage, and then I'll keep telling you about the community. This is a pretty quick home tour. But, so you have access to all 6 of the 7 amenity centers. Again, this is your garage. They're storing a bunch of doors, tankless hot water heater, which is always nice. You also have a golf course and a country club inside the community. So if you love to golf, of course, a big bonus. If you don't, you don't. I mean, it's part of it. You have a nice golf course to look at. I don't golf, but I like looking at golf courses. I love grass, freshly mowed. I have a reel mower. We can talk about it more if you want. So I cut my grass really short, but that's not the point. The point is you have a ton of great amenities. You're going to have pool, fitness center, parks, and your HOA is just over $1,100 a year. Now you're going to have 100 acres of, I'm just going to set this down and we'll walk around, give you a second look while I tell you all about this community, because there's more to this community than I can cover in this home tour of the home. So you have 100 acres of future development space. You have a 27-acre sports park coming. And then, like I said, you have that HEB coming and your half bath. No, that's not. Okay, I didn't think it was. The other one I toured had a half bath right here. Your half bath is in the front, right here, that I didn't show you. So I did miss a part. But you've got a lot coming. You have an HEB that's literally going to be 2 minutes down the road of future growth and development. It's a really spacious half bath. Now, you need some blinds so the neighbors don't see you. But other than that, really like that. So have a ton of growth. You're also going to have just some extra commercial space by that HEB. So you're going to get to, have other shopping and dining right there. So this whole illusion that Celina is super far out and inconvenient just isn't true. Now, it's not as convenient as, say, like Frisco or Prosper. I'm not saying that, but I've got videos over all of this breaking down Legacy Hills and Celina as a whole. Go check those out. I'm going to go tour some other homes in this community, show you what you can get. They have 40 to 65-foot lots in this neighborhood, so we're going to go check those out. Let me know if you have any questions. If you're thinking of making a move to North Texas, whether you're 9 days or 9 months out, reach out to me. I'd love to help you make a smooth move, find you the perfect home for you and your family, depending what your needs are. And I hope to see you here in Texas soon. All my contact info is below. You can check the comments, call, text, email, whatever you prefer, and we can set up a time to call.